So I'm trying to stream this with some difficulty here. So hopefully the stream goes well. I'm gonna kind of just rattle off questions as I see them. What I have going on right now is I'm streaming based off of my wireless hotspot. Not the best internet solution. I'm gonna upload a cleaner version of this video after the Q&A. So I'll address the questions now here while we're doing it here. Pull this video and then upload the cleaner one when I get home to my dad's place tonight. Anyway, so what do we got? Yeah, boy, we got the Jewish butter. Hey, Bar, what's going on? Who's your favorite no-gi grappler right now? My favorite no-gi grappler, this is a good question. I guess we can rattle off some random stuff for now. For the moment, who I really enjoy watching, and like I don't go out of my way to watch too many promotions. I see what I see when I go out, and it's always a good time when I see my coach Andrew Cockle train, but other than that, obviously I got to mention him. Another guy that I really enjoy watching, constantly throwing out different stuff every time I see them, which is something I like to see, you know, variety, always making me like, I gotta say, it's a guy from Studio 84, his name is Steve Joachim. The guy's been throwing a lot of leg locks and stuff, but I'm seeing variety out of the guy as well. As of late, I've been watching a lot of his stuff. He's been sending me stuff, and you know, he's just one of those guys I stay in touch with a lot, and he's competing at a purple level, but honestly, you know, he's far exceeding what the expectations are of the guy. So that's definitely one. All right. Yeah, hopefully the stream stays nice and solid. Cool. That hotspot is, yeah. Looks like the stream health is not terrible right now. So, cool. We're not dropping too many frames. What competitor do I base my game on? So that's a good question. I'm assuming that's Goop Ice out there. I'm assuming that the Tap TV over there. Man, what competitor do I base my game off of? I'll say this, man. I just competed today at Fuji, and last night I got drunk, so it was a terrible decision. I lost my match. I was against a guy named William from 10th Planet. Shout out to that guy. He performed really well. He was a great guy. Thor was coaching him, and my coach was out getting Wawa. So Kevin Stilo, if you're out there, thanks for ignoring that I was saying my match was up. Anyway, I was giving him mad guff earlier. To not be so tangential, I love to have the people on my podcast, I love to use their stuff. So like recently, Tom Sellamer showed a thing where like it's combat jiu-jitsu oriented. I've been trying to navigate figuring out how to use that in my game. Anytime I have someone on my podcast and they show a technique, if I see it works in my game, I'll use it. Like every time I go to Studio 84 again, I'm like giving these guys mad shout outs and stuff with the call outs and stuff. Gaetano, the guy that owns the place, dude, he has a sick side control lockdown thing, and I was implementing that in my game for a long time. Still use it here and there, but yeah, man, anything I see on my podcast from the guests, I get to basically have like a mini private with them. Every time I go and, you know, hang out with the people I have on the show that are jiu-jitsu athletes, we get to shoot the shit a little bit, and they show me the technique, and a lot of times, you know, we have free time, and I'm like asking them a few more questions that you guys don't see in the videos. So, you know, that's a lot of what I base my competitive stuff on, is whatever I can take to the lab, figure out how to integrate in my game from those guys, or, you know, my own coaches and different classes I go to all over the place. Recently I was at 10th Planet Bethlehem, and J.M. Holland was giving a class. There was a really cool little piece that he mentioned for like a triangle choke, knee bar kind of thing. It was a really weird thing to explain over this without showing like a demonstration, but it was a nice little flowy, you know, connection thing. So every time I travel around, and I encourage everyone to do this, if your gym encourages you, or at least condones, you know, you training with other people from other gyms, do it, man. Travel, get to know other people, get to know other gyms. The only thing that sucks is like, I remember when I did this last minute Fuji thing, I said, man, I hope I don't get a 10th Planet guy, because I know there's going to be a bunch of them here, because I was just training over there. I hope I don't get someone I know. William I didn't know, so it was a good thing at least there, but I would have preferred to have someone from a random like Delaware school or something, like a Philly school that I don't know anything about. Man, we got a lot of questions going on. Let's go. All right, not to jump ahead, but what are you planning on stopping by with the bus? Oh, so Max Hummel. I'm assuming that's Max Hummel. Max, I'm actually planning, really loosely, to hit Colorado. I am. I don't know if it's going to happen sooner than later, but it will happen this year. In 2021, I will be visiting Colorado in the Bard bus. So definitely look out for that. You're in my Discord server. I encourage all you guys, check out the description. Hop into my Discord server, man. We talk about the podcast. We talk about all sorts of different things in there. Max can probably tell you, like, we even have like a stock channel in there where we talk about stocks and GameStop and all that crazy stuff that was happening. I have like a really loose itinerary right now. Colorado is on the list. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. Got the wind blowing on my window here. I'm honestly happy because it's hot. So more wind, please. All right, cool. So what up? What up, Alex Price? What's up, baby? Tom is a beast with those palm strikes. No joke. I felt them in 10th Planet Bethlehem. It's awesome. Definitely Jewish better. Mordecai Goldstein. That's the man out here doing the comments. Dude, I love Tom, man. Tom is like one of the coolest people I've met this year. Well, I got to sit down with the podcast this year. Like, just I've known Tom from the Fringe a lot. Like, we always say hi to each other, and like at Emerald City is a great example. He was just trying to help us in any way we could with packing up. Like, he had no pressure to do it. He was just like, oh, anything I can do to help, man. Dude, Tom is such a solid guy, man. So definitely follow Tom, and that's such a great video. Check that video out, guys. He basically shows, like, the title of the video I think is Tom Sellemeyer shows us how to beat people's asses with combat jiu-jitsu or something to that effect, and he just showed how to get a really dominant position that really lets you ground and pound somebody with dominance. It's fucking highly recommend. I implemented in my regular jiu-jitsu game without striking. It's a really good way to trap someone and take their back as well. All right, where we at? All right, here we go. I got more questions here. Brad, since you did the cover of Save the Night, I've been really wanting to hear you cover more songs. D-Boy, let me know what you want to hear, bro. I'll, actually, I wish I had my list here. If you're in my Discord server, not sure if you are, D-Boy, jump in the Discord server, shoot me a text, man. I have a list. I have a gig coming up, actually. You know what? Everything I just said, let's nix that. I have a gig coming up in, I will put the link in the description. I'm actually going to grab the link right now and just give it to you guys. This is going to be the last thing I do in Pennsylvania. After this gig that I have coming up, it's in Orwigsburg at a place called Roman Delight. I'm starting the bus tour. So that's June 13th. That's my hard I'm out of here date. So if you guys are in the Pennsylvania area, D-Boy, you're actually pretty close to this spot. Come check it out, man. Like, not only are you going to support me and the business that like I'm going to be playing at, which is great because live music has been hurting. Like, you can ask any musician. Corona like really fucked us all up. Coronavirus. With the lockdown and everything, it screwed so many music scenes. Everyone that I'm involved with anyway. I'm sure it's transcended that. Definitely check that place out. I'm going to put the link to that event right now in the description and in the feed here so you guys can grab that. There we go. Boom, bada bing, pow, kapam. Skapam. And I'm going to be covering a lot of stuff. And anything you guys might know this, you might not if you've never seen me play. I have like a sheet, like a list of the songs I know. I'll hand it to every table and I say, hey, I play songs by request. So if you want to see me play anything on this list, just yell it out and I play it. So I'll play songs by request. D-Boy, I know there's some bangers on there that you're going to like. For sure. So if you do manage to come out, I would love to hang out with you, man. And the place has solid food, great pizza, and like a lot of more delicious, delectable things if that's your bag as well. All right, cool. And we got, let's see, there's cool stuff going on right now. Will Chase Tag is here. Ooh, that's interesting. Dude, that would be sick. Before July. We'll see, man. I don't think I'm going to make it out. If I make it to Colorado... So let me give a brief kind of synopsis on the ideas that I have here, right? So I have a few people in the Northeast area. I talk about them all the time in the Discord server that I have run. I talk about, who I'm planning on having on next. I even asked some people if they have questions that they want me to ask. So there's benefits to hopping into my server. If you guys give a crap, I'll stop plugging it now. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff in the Northeast here. I have some people in New York. I have some people in New Jersey. I have people in Delaware. I have some really cool stuff lined up with. That's going to be like the first stretch of my journey. Then I'm going to be going probably south or west. There's a few more people I have in that. Essentially, this first stretch of my journey is going to result back in Pennsylvania for August. And here's why. So August 1st is Battle at the Beach in New Jersey. So my team, Valley Jiu-Jitsu, we're all going out there, and we're competing as a team. And we're also doing our belt ceremony on the sand at the beach. And your boy's hoping to get his purple belt. So we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully I perform really well out there at the beach. So I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling. In the meantime, I think this first stretch of my journey is going to be really jiu-jitsu oriented for multiple reasons, but that's really a main one, is I want to get training with a lot of different people. I want to spin up all my friends' gyms. I want to do as much collaborative stuff with jiu-jitsu people in the first stretch of my journey as I can. So I'm going to be coming back in August. I have a lot going on in August. We have Subspectrum, is coming up. They hired me to actually do the event with them, so I'm going to be the stream coordinator for them. Shout out to Jordan P out there. Yeah, and that's going to be a big part of the journey. Then we're probably going to have Emerald City's doing another event. Probably going to be at the 2300 Arena as well in Philadelphia. So we're planning on jumping back into that with the B&B Media team. So that's going to be some pretty cool stuff. And then toward the end of the trip, also there's a bachelor party that I got invited to. August has a lot of PA stuff going on. Even though that Subspectrum thing is in Iowa, I'm flying out there. So it'll just be a lot more convenient if I'm back in Pennsylvania as like a home base to kind of orient my things. Then in September, I might be going to LA actually, early September. When I get back from LA, it's a long story on that one. I won't get into that right now because it's still kind of loose in the ether. Once I get done with that, I'm going to be going back on the road, and that's when I'm probably going to be heading to, we'll see what's next. I have a lot of contacts in Texas, some good contacts in Florida, and California. I know those are the big three corners, right? There's obviously a lot in between, but I just want to give you guys like an idea of the trajectory. There's a lot in Colorado, obviously. Max, I would love to have you on the podcast, actually. I've known Max forever. Anyone that knows like my parkour journey, Max is the guy that taught me how to do a side flip. So, giant shout out to him for that. And that's kind of the loose idea. So once I start doing that, I'm highly encouraging anyone, if you have suggestions on really good people, like people that are like big competitors. At the end of Emerald City, the last event that happened in Philadelphia, I actually got to sit down with PJ Barch, who won, and maybe I'll end up interviewing him. That would be really cool if I would get a chance to interview him, because you know, anyone who follows BJJ knows that guy is a machine. Like I started following him on Instagram around the time of Emerald City, and man, that guy is a cannon. So I would love to have him on. That's a really good person I'm looking forward to having on if I end up in California and we can line it up. All right, what else do we got? Cool, yep. That stuff sounds awesome. Glad you got cool stuff lined up. Hope you do well with your competitions. Yo, thanks a lot, Max. Much obliged. So, let me just make sure I'm, like, in focus here. Yeah, it's alright. It's like, I think it's the frame rate of the stream more than it's my camera. But yeah. Okay, so we got another question here before I go into my stuff. Can I ask, what was the inspiration to take the next step and hop on the bus? Any gym cities you're really looking forward to going to? Alright, so that's like a two-part, so I'll engage that in pieces. And I asked, what was the inspiration to take the next steps and hop on the bus? So, that was a great question. What made me decide to pull the bus out? So I've owned this bus since about 2016 or something like that. I've had the bus for a while. Maybe 2017, actually. Like 4 years I've owned this bus. At first, it was supposed to be our tour bus for the climbing. For you guys that know that band that I was in, episode 1 of the podcast was with Kevin McGee, the keyboard player from the climbing. That band didn't manage to make it, so you know, I went on other musical journeys with other bands such as Scarlet Moon, my current two-piece Blight of the Bards, and now my solo project, Brad the Bard. So that, I had the bus, and we never got to do like the big tour. We toured around like New Jersey and stuff. We did some gigs, but we never got to do like the full idea of like doing the bus. Why did I get the bus in the first place might be a good question to ask, right? So I have to give credit to an old buddy of mine by the name of Joe Hinkle. Him and my friend Ethan McKenna bought a bus a few years like before I did, and they literally just stripped it out, threw a bunch of dog shit in it, like, you know what I mean, like whatever the hell couches and shit they had, like didn't really redo the inside at all, and just went to California in that, just fucking left. And I was like, dude, y'all are crazy. Like, you don't have any preparation in X, Y, and Z fashion, X, Y, and Z, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, I could do that. I could make a fucking bus into a motorhome. I could totally do that. So, what I ended up doing is I took like Kevin, my bandmate at the time, and I said, Kevin, let's see how much a bus costs on Craigslist. Let's just fuck around. Let's see it. So we found one, this bus, and it cost $2,000. I'm like, that's insane. This bus costs $2,000. We'd be dumb not to buy it. You know, whatever I was saying at the time, that's what I said, and we ended up getting the bus. So because we got the bus and got it lined up, we started doing everything, and then Joe came around and we did the whole Bus Brothers Productions company, media company, when he came back to PA, and it's a long story. For those of you that know it, you know, there you go. If you really want to know, you can ask more questions about it. I can go into it, but I don't want to go down too many rabbit holes with it. So that's why I got the bus, right? Then COVID hit, right? So I've had the bus. It's kind of been sitting. Haven't done much with it. Had ideas with it for at one time where like I put solar panels on the roof, took those off, shipped them to Puerto Rico when the hurricanes hit, so I could give my family down there some electricity shit. Ordered new stuff. It's all on the roof. Everything that you see in here right now actually is running off of my solar array. So that's a pretty cool thing. I'm going to do a little tour of the bus, but as you can see, my charge controller's right there. Obviously there's no sunlight right now, so we're chilling at night with just the battery bank giving us all the fuel we need to get the stream popping. From there, let me double check that question just to make sure I'm not going on too many tangents. Can I ask, was it inspiration? Okay, so then COVID hit, right? I lost my job. And I, you know, myself, like anyone else, we kind of had a crisis. Like, whoa, like how am I going to provide for my family? What am I going to do? So I, you know, ended up on unemployment for a little bit there. And then I'm like, what am I going to do with my life? I don't want to go back to IT because I felt like the job was soul crushing. You're basically working a lot of hours to make someone else rich is kind of the way, like, it came down to the way I was looking at everything. And I decided, you know, I really want to be my own boss. After being the manager at PPK, the gym ended up getting shut down and then permanently shut down shortly after because of COVID. It's not even there anymore, which is pretty unfortunate. I ended up moving my whole life from Reading to Philly for that, and it didn't work out. So I had to do some thinking, you know, I had to do some soul searching and figure out, you know, what should I do? And that's when I met up with the Jewish Better for the first time. My man's asking the question here. And there was like some, you know, underground open mats going on for jiu-jitsu. And I found jiu-jitsu to just really be something to revitalize my life, right? I was really depressed after losing the job, as you can imagine. And I didn't know what I was going to do with my life because, you know, things were hard. I ended up finding some IT contracts here and there, but that's tangential. I'm not going to get into that. And I was training with these guys, and then I just realized, like, the podcast could still work. I'm meeting so many new people. I ended up meeting Rob Deagle through some of these, you know, underground open mats. I started meeting even more people, like Birdman, Jaime, and then just so many people through the podcast that I had in that early coronavirus time were jiu-jitsu guys, even though, like, some of them seemed like they might not have been jiu-jitsu guys per se, because I was interviewing them for other things. A lot of those guys I met through the jiu-jitsu chain, and I'm really grateful for that. And it kind of showed me everything that I was doing before gave me the foundation to really chase this. If I was going to chase the podcast and the bus idea for doing the motorhome thing, I have one chance to do it, is basically what it came down to. Right now I lost my job. I have a little bit of money saved over because I was actually, for those of you that don't know, I was living basically in my bus when I was in Philly in the parking lot of that gym. So there you go, now you know. For those of you wondering about that. And I saved a lot of money. I didn't have to pay rent, and I kind of like the money that I was able to save. I've been doing the same thing with all these music gigs and you know, the filming stuff that I've been doing. I've been doing a lot of like live stream stuff for people and just other odd jobs here and there. I actually helped Fuji out, and I made a couple like bucks tonight helping them out. So that was really cool that Tim Morthland was able to pay me to help them pack up and do the metal stuff. And because of that, you know, we're here in the bus. I feel like I went on like 80,000 tangents, so I was like, if I didn't answer your question well there, please let me know. But I'm going to move on to the second part of the question. Well, okay, what do we got? Alright, in gym cities. So yeah, unemployment, it basically netted me deciding to do the bus thing. And then where am I excited to go? I kind of touched on that. If you want a little bit more specifics about like the early stretch of my journey, on Instagram I posted a couple things. So I really want to hit 10th Planet in New York, in Long Island. I want to have all the Sogi guys on, obviously. Group Ice and his dad, Chris Shangoli. If I could have them both on at the same time, I think that would be sick to kind of have a father-son dynamic. I've never done that, and I have a son myself, so I think that would be a really sick thing to even show my son. So that's one that I'm really looking forward to. For those of you that don't know, like enough people have seen my bus by now with the pictures and things to see that there's a mural kind of starting on the side. Jess Bermuda started that with the podcast we did. You guys can kind of look into that. I'm going to be doing a little bit of editing on that video, and we're going to finish painting a good portion of my bus. I have a lot of other people that are artists that I'm planning on having them paint my bus and do some cool stuff with that. So if you guys have any like, you know, dope like street artists or any friends that do like graphic design that are interested in coming on the show to paint a portion of the bus, I'm planning on doing like little sections. The whole thing's going to be like a big museum by the time it's over. Like that's my whole goal. Like I want the whole thing to have a story behind every piece almost. So that's just a few examples, right? So that's Delaware with Jess Bermudez, and Eric Naples. I want to have him on again. My man just won Pan Ams again, and his brother rock climbs, so I want to have him on as well because we actually climb together, and I want more reasons to go hang out with him. And then in New York, or I said New York, and then in New Jersey, obviously, I have plans right now. If everything goes to plan, the first person I will have on a podcast in the bus, since it's been revamped, will be Keith Krikorian for the opening of Studio 84 Squared. So that's another one that I'm really excited to have on. I met Keith a few weeks ago with Gaetano. We got lunch. Dude's an awesome guy. Can't wait to talk to him. So that's definitely one I'm really looking forward to. All right, where are we at? Well, it's competitions. Okay, question. Is it just you traveling in the bus, or are you bringing anyone along? Outstanding question, Max. Anyone that wants to join me for a stretch of my journey is welcome to join me. There's going to be some awesome jiu-jitsu travel. Please feel free to hit me up, man. If you want to go, like, if you want to fly, like, oh, I've never been to Texas. I want to go to Texas and, like, train or do whatever I'm going to be doing in Texas or Colorado. Meet me. I'll pick you up at the airport. You'll live in the bus with me for a little bit. Make sure you bring your sleeping bag and shit like that, man. So if you're a good friend of mine or, like, someone that, you know, is a really good contact of mine, I'm going to basically have the bus open for, you know, at my discretion, people can join me on the journey. And then, you know, when you want to fly out or whatever, get dropped off at X, Y, and Z place. That's kind of the way it's going to go. And I think it's going to make these Q&As and the vlog stuff more interesting because not only am I going to be doing the podcast, I want to do like a travel vlog a little bit as well. I'm not going to make that my thing, but it will be interesting. And I think I have some interesting stuff to show you guys on the road, for sure. So I want that to be part of it for the sake of my followers. And make sure you guys subscribe, because I need 1,000 subscribers to make money doing this on YouTube. And from there, fuel ain't getting cheaper. So let your people know, man. I'm more than halfway there. I'm constantly, you know, getting more and more, but the quicker I get there, the quicker I can, you know, start improving the quality of everything as well. Yeah, so let me move on to the next question here. What's the inside of the bus smell like? Right now, the inside of the bus smells like I can only describe it as musty bus smell. Because I haven't been here all day, haven't run the AC at all day. It's been hot in here all day. So, that's what it smells like right now. Alright. I'm gonna skip Pete's next comment there. Anyway, alright, hell yeah, that's what I wanted to hear, Max. That's awesome, man. Alright, cool. So, it looks like that's the end of the questions for now that you guys have. I'm just gonna kind of rattle off a couple of my own things. And kind of just talk about the build a little bit. Yeah, so, where to start, right? Right now, I kind of want to, I know where to start. One second. Why do this, right? Why even get a fucking bus? How dumb is that? Why couldn't you just do a studio somewhere and just have people come to your studio? Why couldn't I just do the thing where I travel to the gyms and do the podcast inside their stuff, right? All great questions. I don't have an answer for you, man. I had a bus, so we're doing it in the fucking bus. That's the answer I'm giving you. So, here is some paperwork I had to file to get, I just want to talk about this because this is a little bit, I won't go super in depth to this. I'll spend like 5 minutes on it, maybe less. Turning a school bus into a motorhome is a fucking process, dude. So I'll just briefly show you guys. What I had to do to get this process started to cut get the registration cut over to be a school bus was this stuff. Let's see. I'm gonna just pull up OBS so I can make sure you guys can see this all right. Yeah, so bam, I had to do a document that stated like, here's what I did, here are the components, and like, this is how much I spent on each of them. I had to paste my receipts and everything, and it was a process, right? So that's kind of like the paperwork, blah, blah, blah. And it cost me a lot to do it, man. Like, I did not like the process. It was super expensive and just a pain in the ass. So currently the bus is in a state where I have legally everything I need to have it registered as a motorhome. But it's not the way I want it done. And I couldn't tell them that, right? Because I'm like, look, it takes time to build these things. I want to have like a nice sink, and I want to have perhaps a shower, and like I want to do like the toilet thing right. And, you know, I'm going to have a sink and like a white water tank under with a pump and X, Y, and Z. And they're like, well, for you to get it cut over, you need, you know, those things now. So I'm like, fuck, well, I need to do some bullshit version of a lot of those things that I want to plan on doing a full version later. So there's 7 things you needed. Let me, man, I can't remember 100% what they were. Let me try to rattle them off, right? So one of them was liquid propane and a 110 volt situation, a faucet, toilet, a fridge, heat and AC, and then there was 2 other things. Oh, a portable water supply. And then there was one other thing. I can't remember what the last one was. Yeah. I guess whatever. It was something like that. You needed 4 out of the 7, right? So I had the propane, because I have a propane heater. I can show you guys that in a moment. I had the fridge because I had that, blah, blah, blah. 110 is all solar. I built that all myself. That's one of the things that was permanent, though, right? A lot of the things I put in here, like even the heater, I'm planning on replacing that eventually. I'd like to get a wood stove, but that's going to probably come in the winter time. I have other things to build in the meantime that are going to better suit the summer situation that I'm going to be running into. The faucet right now is like one of those, like, fucking pump ones with your foot that you get at like the petting zoo. Got it on eBay for like $60 or something. So I just got a bunch of those parts to make it legal. And then now that it's legal, a lot of that stuff's going to get pulled out so I can replace it with the stuff I actually want to put in here. And yeah, that's kind of I feel like I went on a bit of a tangent there, but that's basically my plan. The state of the bus as it is now with the floor, a lot of the skeletal things that I did are exactly how I want them. And a lot of the things on the inside, including the seats, I don't know how well you guys can see those. I guess not at all with the camera angle at the way it is right now. Seats are going to get replaced basically, or modified heavily. I want to make the seat situation fold into a bed here. So, you know, my visitors can have a bed where the podcast will be. I also want to make the podcast seats more comfortable for my guests. So that's something that's in the pipeline. And yeah, I feel like that might have been a little tangential, but other than that, man, at the moment, like I bought the bus for $2,000. I think I haven't spent 10 grand on it yet, but with parts and everything that I've done so far, with the registrations and everything included, we're getting up there. Definitely past 5,000 by now. But okay, cool. And then I'll move on to I'll do a little tour of the bus here once I engage a couple more of these questions. Cool, so. Oh, that's awesome, man. Thanks, man. Mordecai. Cowabunga, bro. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words, brother. Os. Good stuff. So, yeah. All right. No more questions there. I had a couple more things I wanted to touch on before we do like a little tour. Yeah. Yeah, I got the solar stuff. I'm planning this is something I can talk about, right? So I'm planning on doing build videos and a lot of music out of here. I want to do like a whole music studio situation in here. It's obviously not the case right now. Like I just got this desk kind of pimped out. Even the monitors aren't the orientation I want to have them in the final thing. There's a lot of stuff going on. I still have an inspection I need to do tomorrow with the bus, so that's going to be a pain in my butt until I can figure that out. Basically, so I had this enhanced safety inspection, right, which allows me to get the registration changed over on the title from school bus to motorhome, and then my PA's inspection is different than that. So another I still have like more money I got to dump into this before it's 100% legal and ready to go. So that's one of the reasons everything's been so delayed. A lot of this bureaucratic shit has just been beating me up, and you know, I'm taking it in stride, and I'm getting a lot of different stuff done in the meantime to get everything popping off. Like we're getting there, man. I'm planning, like I said, man, I want to do like some short stretch journeys. I'm probably gonna visit some people that I know. Like I can park the bus over there, like Studio 84. I'm probably gonna come out and show you guys just because you've been so supportive of my podcast, you know, up to this point, and I just feel like the first stop on my journey, besides my own jiu-jitsu gym, will be Studio 84. So maybe we can do like a crazy open mat situation with that. I got to talk to Guy about it and stuff yet, but it's gonna be cool. That's gonna probably be my first stop before May ends. Hopefully that's, you know, in the next week or two, and then. Yeah, and then from there, like I said, June 13th, guys, I'm going to post it again. For those of you that are catching the stream late and are interested in coming and seeing me play my last show in Pennsylvania for a long time, doing one in the Hamburg, Orwigsburg, Allentown area. It would mean a lot if I got some friends coming out to hang out and maybe have a brewski with the boy. Other than that, yeah, man. Let's take a look at the bus. So, let's throw OBS back up for a second. All right, so I'm gonna use that kind of like my reference. So yeah, I'll do a little, I just don't want to blind you guys with the light, so I'm going to put it on the floor really quick. I'm going to turn on the bus lights as well. Oh my god. That helped a little bit. Alright, cool. So, yeah. I'm going to move this out a little bit. Boop. do a little pan here. So that's the bus right now. We got the fridge over there. Let me turn the light so you can kind of see a little better. Alright, so we got the fridge. Got my gi hanging over there in my closet. My bed situation's back there. I got a little table with a lot of the stuff I use to get the podcast ready. And then we'll come over here. I gotta be careful how much I stretch this cabling, or else I'm gonna lose the camera. Alright, looks like we're good. Alright, let me loosen this. And so there's my heater and my sink. I will demonstrate the sink because it is actually pretty sweet. It's gonna be in here for a while till I get that whitewater tank situation going, but if you guys ever visit me in my bus and you wanna wash your hands, you can do that over here. So that's pretty cool. Basic stuff, man. Basic stuff right now. But yeah, here's the podcast studio right over here. This is going to be revamped. It's going to look a lot better. For those of you that watch my podcast in the early days, sticker wall's still here. Posters are still up. Might modify some of the stuff with that. But the vibe's going to stay generally the same. And yeah, this is the first time I've live streamed in the bus in, man, a long time. Long time. Oh, but it's good to be back. This desk is so sick. Yo, like, press F to pay respects to the bar desk, yo. Check this thing out, man. I got like the whole music situation is gonna be pretty dope in the bottom. And yeah, man. I don't know what else we're looking at here. Let me go back to the Q&A. Probably end the video pretty soon here. If anyone has any more questions, let me know. But yeah, man, I think this is gonna be pretty cool. I feel like this is my calling. I feel like what I'm doing with the podcast is good for the world. You know, these are some affirmations that I've had to, you know, sit down and think about. Like, is what I'm doing the right thing for me? Can I find success doing this? Have I already found success doing this? Obviously. And yes, has been the answer for a lot of these things. I'm a hard worker. For everyone that knows, or anyone that's ever worked with me, you know, I'm all about spinning up my local circle. Everyone that supports me, I always want to give back. And I think that's just a huge thing with everything I've done, man, up to this point, you know, podcast or otherwise. The music community in Reading, the gaming community at large, you know, the Smash Bros stuff, obviously. Well, a couple people commented on the shirt. You know, I'm always trying to give back. And one thing I would love to do, it's a really loose, crazy, like, 10-year-old kid idea that I have, but an idea I would love to pursue if I saw success. And, you know, maybe this is a decent place to kind of end on this sort of thing. But I would love to put a big, giant convention together, like BardCon is the idea that I've been kind of bouncing around in my head. And, you know, so here's like the 10-year-old part, right? The ADHD in me kind of really shows with this idea. I want to have like a jiu-jitsu seminar in the morning, like, and then like an open mat into the afternoon, maybe like a workshop with some people that are doing jiu-jitsu. Then later in the afternoon be some gaming tournaments or something like that, a big giant gaming thing, and then maybe like a concert at night with music. Those are just like 3 things that, you know, all you guys that know me know that I'm heavily involved with those things. And, you know, maybe it could be other things too. You know, I could just do some Q&A stuff with some really popular guests and just crazy ideas that I have that I just don't have the means to pull off. But, you know, if everything goes well, just know really cool shit's going to come out of the Bard podcast if everything works out. Yeah, but, you know, in the meantime, I'm not looking to make $1 million. I'm just looking to survive. So if you guys want to support me, that's a good place to kind of start going. We have Vedinian over here. He is the sponsor. If you guys haven't seen, he was on one of my podcast episodes. Check his episode out if you want. His stuff's in the description as well. How can you support the show? So there's a lot of different ways, right? You can support me directly. I've been putting like the PayPal and the Venmo on different episodes. Been putting it on and off here and there. All that information's also in the description. So if you guys want to donate to the cause, you know, please, I could use the money to increase, you know, the efficiency of a lot of the systems I have going on in here, and just increase the quality of the podcast. You know, everything's coming back to you guys. So trust me, like, everything I have is going into this. So I'm you know, we'll see what else we can get out of it. And then I'm gonna continue, you know, doing the film jobs on the road and everything too, because that's sick. And then there's IT work that I can do as well. Your boy's the contractor, so if you need something handled, hit me up while I'm on the road. Maybe we can get something worked out. Anyway, other ways to support me. My Patreon, right? So every month I have a few different packages, some that are $1 a month. Just they give you a little, you know, whatever fancy stuff in my Discord. It'd be cool if you guys could, you know, consider, you know, throwing a couple bucks to me here and there if you find value in my show. You know what I mean? If you don't, I'm not asking you, you know, but if you guys are finding value in this, if I have impacted your life in a good way, like, I do need help. So if you want to support the show, I need subscribers. Got the Patreon. Can donate to me directly. Suggest guests for me. Suggest work to me. If there's any jiu-jitsu promotions out there that need people filming, I would love to help you guys. Yeah, man. I'm out here to work hard for you guys. So anything like that, I'll be more than happy to assist with. If not, I'll figure it out, baby. Train keeps rolling. But I'm going to double check the questions here. If no one has any more questions, this has been the first Q&A on the Bard's Quest, Bard Log number 1. There will be more. I don't know how often I'll do these. I definitely won't do a consistent, like, every week I'm going to do one. If I don't have news, I'm not going to do it. But we'll see. Maybe it'll get to that point where there's that much news coming out. Alright, what else do we got? Alright. How well does the heater keep the space warm? That's a great question. It does a super good job, as a matter of fact. I can't remember how many BTUs it is, but basically it runs off propane and a AAA battery. So it essentially just throws heat leak out. It's, you know, you need some ventilation. That's like a recommendation thing that I've had from people. The manufacturer doesn't recommend that because it's supposed to be clean burning, but some of my friends are like, you better ventilate your space if you're using propane to heat. But I would like to do a wood stove eventually and have the pipe coming out. That's a plan. But yeah, last winter when I had the propane heater situation, man, heats the place up in like a few minutes, like, you know, like 10, 20 minutes. It's like toasty. It's really comfortable. I had some podcasts on like last winter. Rachel Dodson is a great example of one that comes to mind, where, you know, I threw on the heater and, you know, we came on the bus with our coats and like she had a sweater on and like we're stripping down to our t-shirts. So it heats the place up pretty well. And yeah, it was worth the money. I think I got a good recommendation off that from a acquaintance, and it worked out. All right. Clown stuff is no joke, but I do believe you can get to that state. Yo, thank you for believing in me. Alright, have you managed to get internet access on the bus for when you're not plugged into somewhere else? So right now I'm streaming off a hotspot on my phone, but I also have a lot of different solutions, right? There are many solutions that can be leveraged, and here's a couple. Let's say I want to do a podcast at a location, right? I have long Ethernet runs I can run to just do like Ethernet cable me into your building, and then we can be parked outside and just do the podcast that way instead of me going into your gym or something and setting up the seats with the mics and everything. I want everything to just be right here. It'll be a lot easier that way. Let's say we're out in the boonies or something and it's like we're in the woods, but like someone's house is like within a mile. I have this satellite transmitter and receiver so I could hook one of those up high, like on your house somewhere, with an Ethernet cable, and it'll send the signal to wherever my bus is parked. So as long as I'm high and the transmitter's high, or we're really close together, it's non-line of sight, so there could be a lot of trees between us as long as it's like less than a mile. That's a pretty good solution that I have access to as well. And then the final thing is, you know, the hotspot. And then if, you know, worse comes to worse, and I can't live stream, even though I love to live stream it to you guys, I'll just record it and post it when I can. Because maybe I'm at, like, the Grand Canyon or something, with the bus or something, and that's what we decided to do. So, hopefully that answered your question pretty well. I can definitely dive into how that stuff works in separate videos, if that's what you guys want. Let your boy know. Alright. Awesome, the heater works. Yo, man, and I just gotta say, man, everyone that's been supporting my journey in any way, even if it's just, like, encouraging me, man, I need that stuff, man. Like, it's so hard. It's so hard to do this stuff sometimes, you know? Like, some weeks it's like, you've all been there, right? We've been in a flow state, everything's going great. And then, man, it takes so little to just spin someone up, like me personally, just say, you know, dude, like, I saw, like, X, Y, and Z that you did, and it was so good. That'll give me fuel for weeks, man. Like, just thinking, like, oh, I did one good thing for one person. I made the world better one degree. You know what I mean? So, thank you guys for your support. And please continue to check out my podcast. Any suggestions and stuff for the journey, taking them all mostly in Instagram or my Discord. Obviously, if you guys haven't watched my videos, I'm not on Facebook or Instagram nearly as much as I used to be. Really not a fan of Mark Zuckerberg. If I could do any MMA fight against any opponent, it would be Mark Zuckerberg. That's the guy I want to fight. So I'm really not into him. I don't like what he's doing to the world with his products. So I haven't been on that stuff. If you want to get a hold of me, email is the best, or my Discord will get me even faster. Or if you have my number, that's probably the quickest way to get a hold of me. And yeah, man, I'm just going to keep on this journey, and we're just going to keep building momentum, and we're going to do some amazing things, with or without the funding, man. Just so you guys know, like, it costs me $0 to live in here a month. I have water I can get anywhere and filter it. My electricity comes from the sun. The only expense I really have is diesel fuel, and that shit's going up for whatever reason. The world's falling apart, and there's hackers breaking stuff. So that's definitely been affecting me pretty negatively in that regard. So if I can help not driving too far in the beginning of the stretch, you kind of get the idea of why. There's a lot of reasons I'm doing things the way that I'm doing them. So we're gonna make this work. Thank you guys for your support. I'm gonna log off now unless there's any more questions. What do we got? Oh, here we go. My roommate wants to fight the Zuck too. Yo, your roommate is all right, Max. He's all right. All right, and that's fair. Cool. All right, man. I think from now on, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have my guitar with me or something. I want to make sure I do the Q&As. The Bard log needs to have some music in them. So the first one, this one's kind of been a loose shot. Like, I've been kind of putting off trying to stream in here for a while, but we finally just said, fuck it, we're just going to do it and see what happens. It worked out. So we're going to really start attacking this thing, and you're going to see a lot more cool things coming out of the Bard bus. Stay in touch, guys. I love you all, and let's make the world a better place together. If anything, you know what I mean? That's one thing we can live for, right? We can leave this place better than how we found it. Peace.